All right, we'll go ahead and get started then. A new series, kind of going back to our Rightly Dividing the Word of Truth series. This one is going to be on Ezekiel 38 and 39, also known as the Northern Alliance. We're going to take our time to get there, though, because I want to make sure that we have some basics down before we get there. Now, let me ask this question. When did the Northern Alliance happen? It's a trick question. It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. Yeah, everyone's going, whoop, because I don't know what was going on. It's something that's going to happen in the future. And so that's what we're going to talk about. So before we get there, let's go ahead and start. We're going to look at what the difference is between covenantalism and dispensationalism, two big words. But it's very important to understand the difference between these two things, because when we start looking at the future events, they both look at it from different perspectives and different lenses, okay? So I want to understand a little bit what is the difference, because you're out there researching this or listening to videos, you could be hearing this from a completely different perspective, okay? So start with, what do they have in common? How many have heard of covenant theology or Reformed Baptist churches or anything like that? Some of you, yes. Some of you, no, have not heard about it. So we have a lot of things in common with this viewpoint of the world. What is a worldview? Let me ask that. What's a worldview? The way you look at things through your eyes. And what are the things that you're looking at? It could be past events, could be peoples of the world, it could be current events. You're watching the news, and how you perceive what's going on is your worldview. Now, in the society today, we have two major worldviews. We have a Christian worldview, and we have a non-Christian worldview. What would you think is the bigger difference? What are some of the differences between the two? They all use the same evidence. They all see the same things, but it's how they view them. What are some differences between a Christian worldview and a non-Christian worldview? What's the big ones that are going on right now?
Well, the big one is the Christian worldview is based on the Bible.
Okay, Christian worldview is based on the Bible.
And non-Christian is based on evolution.
Good point. Evolution is another good point. The way we look at how mankind came about, we use the Bible. Non-Christians would consider evolution as their basis for that worldview. So when we get into the Christian worldview now, there is a difference. And that's what we're going to talk about here. Covenant theology, how you look at the world, and dispensational theology, how they look at the world. From Salem Baptist Church, we come from a dispensational viewpoint. And I'm going to talk about what is the difference and why is there a difference. So what do they have in common? The first thing they have in common is salvation is by faith. Doesn't matter if you're a covenant theologist or a dispensational, you still believe that salvation is by faith and by faith only. Salvation has always been by faith and faith only, and salvation will always be by faith and faith only. This is something that we have in common. We set this from the Bible, Ephesians